All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. We got a good one for you today. Sorry we're starting a little bit late, but here we go anyway. And we're at the airport, and I know there's a lot of noise and a lot of humming, a lot of stuff going on here. We're going to try to do the show the best we can. I don't want to let anybody down. So today is Okuma Fish Labs Wednesday. We always talk about some Okuma or Fish Labs products on Wednesday, and I'll show you a bitch and reel that I love to use here in a few minutes. But we'll get going this morning on hook selection. We're all talking about hooks and what kind of hooks we should use and when we should be using these hooks and where we should be using these hooks at. So we're going to get going in just a second here. A few more people are jumping on, and we're going to be talking. Yeah, I'm at the airport in Cabo, getting ready to fly up to Tahoe to see my little grandbaby. And I guess it's freezing up there. I don't even own a pair of shoes, so it'll be interesting. I don't have any shoes, so we'll see what happens. I got my flip-flop shorts and a shirt on. So we'll see what happens. But we're going to Tahoe. So tomorrow we'll be doing this show live from the snow. But gang, when you're picking your hooks, there's a whole bunch of different kinds of hooks out there. But we want to talk about the best hooks for us when we're fishing. And today we're going to talk about when you're picking your hooks, you want to make sure you're not getting any of those chrome-plated or nickel-plated hooks. Now, I grew up using those chrome-plated and nickel-plated hooks back when we were kids. They didn't have any other type of hooks, so those are the hooks we had to use. Now they have bronze and black hooks, and I'm not talking for your lures, and I'm not talking about for anything other than bait fishing. We're talking about bait fishing today and picking a hook. What kind of hook you want to use? You want to use thin wire to the best of your ability, unless you're fishing giant bluefin or giant yellowfin down on the ridge or something like that. But basically, what we fish in Southern California, bass, bonita, barracuda, yellowtail, white sea bass, we're going to use a thin wire hook because the thin wire is going to present the bait much better. And you can see the difference between a thin wire hook and a thick wire hook now that we're talking about it. When you go to pick out your hooks, you're going to want to use a thin wire hook. That way it's better for your bait, and you don't want to use a nickel-plated hook because why? This goes back to what we talk about all the time. Bait presentation, when you're presenting your bait to the fish, you don't want them to be able to see the bait or the hook. You don't want them to be able to see the hook. So you want to make sure that the fish can't see the hook. And that is why you're going to use a black or a bronze hook instead of a chrome-plated hook. Never, ever, ever use chrome-plated hooks. When we're done with this show today, or when you get home from your job today, I want you to go through your tackle boxes and I want you to get all those chrome-plated hooks out, or put them in a small bag or something and give them to your friends when they come out fishing with you, when they tell you that they catch way more fish than you and they're going to outfish you today or outfish you tomorrow. I want you to hand them those nickel-plated or chrome-plated hooks. That way you'll be positive you're going to catch more than they will. And I'm just trying to be funny, but those chrome-plated or nickel-plated hooks, thank you very much, Pat. Thank you. Those chrome-plated or nickel-plated hooks, gang, allow the fish to see the hook. When you throw your bait out in the water, if you're using a black or a bronze-colored hook, the moment that bait hits the water, that hook is invisible. And it matters, and it matters a lot, especially when it's a picky bite, especially when things are slow and things aren't going that hot. No, I know. I'm doing the best I can with the Wi-Fi I got. But when you're using those bronze or black hooks, it's going to be much better bite because of the fact that the fish cannot see the hook. That's going to change everything. You're going to have a much better chance of getting bit with a black or a bronze hook. From this point forward, never, ever use the chrome-plated hooks. I promise you it's going to change what you catch. And then also thin wire, like we talked about in the beginning of this, thin wire is going to change everything. If it's a thin wire hook, the bait's going to have a better chance to swim through the water. If it's a thick wired hook, it's going to add weight to the bait and cause it to not be able to swim as well. So check those out when you're standing in front of the rack of hooks the next time. You're going to be able to tell the difference right away. It's hard to tell the difference when I'm talking to you right now. You're like, I don't understand what you're saying. Get in front of the rack and you'll be able to figure it out. Get in front of the rack and look at the thin wire compared to the thick wire hooks, and it's going to change what you catch from this point forward, I promise you. So always make sure that you have the right hook for the right type of fishing that you're going to do also. When you're out there fishing, you want to make sure that you have the right size hook. That's going to matter a lot. That's why we try to have several different size hooks when we're fishing. So you want to have some number 2s, some number 4s, and then some 1/0s, and some 2/0s, and some 4/0s, and some 6/0s. But all the time when you're going to fish live bait, make sure that it's a thin wire when you're going up in size. Because if you got to use a thick wire hook on a sardine, that's going to add a ton of weight to that sardine, and he's not going to swim as well. And if he's not swimming as well, he's not going to get bit as well. Many of you know when you throw your bait in the water, sometimes that bait gets bit the minute it hits the water. That's because it's hauling butt when it hits the water, swimming away from those fish. And fish are like dogs. If they see something running, they're going to chase it. That's why that bait, the minute it hits the water, if it's hauling butt, it's going to get bit right away. But if you're using a thick wire hook, you're going to have less of a chance of that bait to swim that hook, because that hook has added so much weight to your bait. So gang, it looks like the Wi-Fi is having a problem bouncing back and forth here. I'm not sure if we're even doing this show right. We're going to end it early today, but it's all about baits. So make sure you pick the right bait when you go. Make sure you pick the right hook when you go to the tackle store. Thin wire, no more chrome plated, no more silver hooks, only black and bronze, thin wire for live bait fishing. That's all I got for you today. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon. Have a great day. Be kind to each other. Turn off the news or all